Isn't that wonderful?
That is amazing.
Do you ever get tired of that? No, of course
Bella
not.
Army. Wait, is this on?
Yep, I think.
Hello. Oh, there I am. My little Bella Army in the house.
Guys, one more time. Nikki Bella's right here. Oh, my goodness.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We're going to talk about Total Divas and all sorts of stuff, but I think first we've got to address the diamond elephant in the room that happens to be on your hand.
Oh, yes.
Congratulations, guys.
Oh,
come on.
thank you.
Life-changing moment.
Soon to be Mrs. Cena.
Incredible. You know, I got to ask you, the story leading up to WrestleMania, there was a lot of mockery of John proposing, not proposing, all this sort of stuff. Was there a tiny sliver, like the smallest part of your brain in that moment that didn't know if it was part of the show or real? Like, or did you know, like, this is happening, this is real?
I mean, you know, I think when you look into the eyes of someone you love, you know. And the words he was saying, I couldn't even hear the over 75,000 people that were in the stadium because I was so locked into his eyes and every word he was saying, and it was magical. Yeah. It was just, I've never once doubted our love, and I knew it was so real. And what made it even more special was the ring is our home, WWE is our home, and I love the fact that he did it at home.
That's pretty incredible, and it looks special, it looks magical, and it really is fun to watch. You mentioned the 75,000 people that were there. I'm not great with math. Here we've got about 50,000 in this room right now. You can't see it at home, but this place is packed
feels the
right
same.
now. It feels the same. I wonder, when you're in front of a crowd that size, was it just the magic of that moment, or do you eventually, does it just one big sound? Does it become its own organism? It's so many people. There's so much energy that you feed off of.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the energy's unreal. For every live event that we do, the energy is amazing. But WrestleMania, you literally have one stadium where there are people from all over the world that come to this one event. And it's magical. And then you have, I mean, already I couldn't believe that I was tagging with the love of my life, the man of my dreams. I already was like, whoa, this is happening. And I'm walking down that big ramp that we had to walk up 4 flights of stairs to get there. So I truly felt on top of the world. Yeah.
I love it.
And I was out of breath. Yeah. I'm like, so John, you're going to run all the way down the ramp? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to keep walking when your music hits. So I could only run like towards the end. But so, I mean, everything about it, the energy, oh my goodness. Take me back. Yeah. Take me back.
That is so quintessential, like WWE. I think 99% of the ramps in existence around the world are functional, but they built they like, no, this is we need a giant ramp. We need a big ramp. You're making an entrance.
I mean, Vince absolutely amazes me. When I think, I'm like, okay, we can never beat this stage ever. Yeah. And then next year, we're going to walk into WrestleMania in New Orleans. I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this is better than Orlando. Like, how did he do it? Like, he does it every year. It's crazy to me. Every year it gets bigger and better.
Were there ever any moments, and I promise I'm not going to make all the questions about the wedding or the proposal.
Okay. I like talking about love.
Okay, great, because it's very exciting. And I'm just curious, so I got married last year, and leading up to that, thank you, that was very nice. Leading up to that moment, there were one or two, and I won't share these stories now, but like moments where my fiance thought I was going to propose, and I was completely unaware of that. I'm wondering if you... They're great stories. I'll tell them when the cameras are off. But was there ever a moment where you thought, this is the one, and then there was a really quiet ride home after because it wasn't like...
Oh, yeah. Which makes me feel terrible because he's been planning this for a year and a half. So... I mean, even this past Christmas, he was downstairs. We were at his mom's house, and he's like, Nicole, come down here. And I'm like, oh. And literally, I got this rush, and I'm like, what do I say? Do I look okay? Okay. And I come down, and he goes, do you think bar stools would look good here or no? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, whatever you want. And like, walk away, and he's like, did I do something? I'm like, ugh. And then we were in Napa Valley, and we were at the French Laundry, and I'm like, this is it. And I just had this beautiful dress on. And I'm waiting, and I'm trying to enjoy the environment, and I am. And I'm like, whoa, he's really going to wait till the end. And then nothing ever happened. And I couldn't help but be like, and I'm so ashamed of myself, but I literally go, really? This would have been perfect. And he goes, what? I'm like, to propose. I'm like, we could have had every anniversary here. And he's like, oh, my God, are you kidding me? He's like, way to take the romance out of it. And I'm like, Yeah, I need to stop doing this.
You shouldn't feel ashamed though of that moment, because that literally the exact same thing happened to me, and we were on visiting a friend like Martha's Vineyard. There was a sunset.
Oh,
I like got down to tie my
perfect.
shoe on one knee. Like it was
you.
literally everything was leading in that
It's
direction.
like a movie.
Yeah, exactly. You don't mean to do it, so that's a very natural reaction.
Yeah, and you can't help but be a woman and feel those things. Like, all my friends are like, "Don't worry, it's natural. You're gonna." Until he does it, everything you're gonna be like, this is it, and then nope.
Well, you mentioned too that he had been planning it for a year and a half, and as part of for the story, which is really sweet, which has been out, is that right before your surgery, he told you, right, which is incredibly sweet. So you kind of, in a way, you were walking around with this secret sort of subconscious. You had no idea in your head for a year, no idea whatsoever. Now, looking back in hindsight, were there any moments that you can look back and go, oh, he totally knew when I asked him this, or he was totally hiding it when he did this, or like anything like that? Or did he really keep it locked down for a year and a half?
He kept it locked down. Well, I mean, goodness, you see it on Total Divas and Total Bellas, so it's kind of embarrassing for me when I look back at that, what a brat I could be. When it's like, he would be like, Nicole, and it's like, you're never gonna marry me, and sometimes I'm like, goodness, you should have. And I've had patience, and that's why he ended up doing it. But I think that's what made it so special for me is I can't tell you, for a year and a half, I have been bugging him about what he asked me when I went into surgery. Because I see the footage of him talking to me, but I don't remember leaving that room. So I'm like, John, what did you ask? And I would always like ask him, and he's like, I don't know. And literally, you know what I always thought? Because he asked me this yesterday at breakfast before he took me to the airport.
I want to know some of your theories.
He's like, what did you think I asked you? Like, this whole year and a half you've been bugging me. And I go, really? This is what I thought. Nicole, are you okay not being a mom? No, John, I'm gonna hate you forever. Yeah, I'm never marrying this girl. So like literally this always played in my head, like, oh my God, I bet I told him the truth about like being a mom or something. Like I said, no, therapy's working. No, it's not, I'm in anesthesia. But so that's like what always would go through my head is like, goodness, what did I mess up? Like I thought I messed something up. And little did I know that he asked me about marriage and I was like, yeah.
Was that like
so cute?
Immediately after processing what was happening, was that like your second thought of, oh, thank God I didn't say what I thought?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, woo!
Well, thank you for indulging and answering the questions and talking about it. We're all very excited for you. We can't wait. I'm not going to ask you anything like, have you picked a date or anything like that, unless you have. In which
no, I haven't.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you that. I'm not going to get into that. But
I've been asked that a lot today, and I haven't.
Yeah, I can imagine everywhere you go, you're probably getting tired of hearing that. But I will say, though, this is a very exciting time for you and your family. Bree is doing like a month or something like that, right?
This
year
April
is going to be...
30th is the due date.
That's the due date.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And if she's stubborn like Brian, well, then Birdie Joe might not come till May. But, yeah, she could come any week. Any week.
Wow.
How crazy. Baby
really
Bella.
cool.
I mean, Brian tries to say it's Baby Brian, and I'm like, no, that's Baby Bella. Baby Bella. She's walking in the Bella footsteps. Sorry.
That's pretty exciting. I don't know if any of that's in Total Divas. I think it's going to be in Total Bellas. Will we see some of that journey?
Yeah. Well, you know what's kind of cool is we go on air, by the way, tonight at 9 p.m. only on E. Yeah. And for the next 6 weeks, you actually see Bree's journey because now she's retired, and here she. I don't want to say gave up her career, but she, stopped her career temporarily to be a mom, knowing that she may never get back in the ring. And I think she thought she was going to get pregnant like that. Yeah. And she can't. And so you see her journey over the next 6 episodes of the struggle it is to get pregnant. And I think certain things that we're like, well, how do all these people have accidents? And now she wants it and she can't. So it's really crazy to see my sister go through that, and obviously we know it has a good, ending to the story because she got pregnant. Yeah. But and poor Brian, he had to hear a lot about it. He had to hear a lot about ovulation, and the baby making process turned out not to be fun for him. He's like, geez, she's like, now I'm ovulating, poor poor Brian. But so that's neat. You get to see that in the next 6 weeks.
And like you said, even though you know that there's a happy ending, I think there's so much. I mean, like, for example, we get to see your journey on here, and it's kind of like your Batman Begins. Like, we get to see...
Oh, I like that.
We get to see your comeback and you planning for your comeback, and it's really exciting. And watching you sort of go through all those different hurdles. I got to see the first episode. I got to see tonight's episode early, but I'm really excited. I'm wondering, what more do we get to see? What can we look forward to on this journey? What was one of the most difficult parts for you?
I think, and you get to see this over the next 6 weeks, But what was really difficult for me is the minute I got cleared and I was ready to rock and roll and wrestle again, all the girls were like, oh, no, we don't want to wrestle you. Like, we don't want to hurt you. And I was like, wait, what? I just went through this crazy journey. I'm ready to go. And I had no one to go with. Like, and that was really difficult for me. And I guess I had to kind of put myself in their shoes. But in that moment, it was hard to see that because I was like, I'd get in there with you. And it was especially because Natty was someone I really wanted to be in the ring with and train me. She was the one I trusted the most. And she was having a difficult time because, you know, we all know Natty is an absolutely amazing wrestler. And I'm like, Natty, like, come on. Yeah. So you see, that was probably one of the toughest times. And then when I finally start training and I'm ready to go, and then they won't draft me, they won't put me back on TV. And I'm like, hey, like, come on, guys. Like, I had this envision that I'm going to come back for this great SummerSlam story and all this stuff. And so then that's when you realize the whole side of entertainment, right? Like, here I'm ready to go. And it doesn't mean, like, oh, you can just debut right then. You got to wait for a story. So you see that journey and the struggle, and it just gets real. And then you get to see that moment of SummerSlam. Yeah. And that was so worth the wait and the struggle and the journey and how the WWE Universe took me back. Oh my, I mean, and in Brooklyn. Yeah. I was expecting like boos like no other. And they cheered me and I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to be a bad guy right now, but I'm gonna smile, and I don't know how to do my booty shake, but I'm gonna just taking it in. Yeah.
Walk us through that first, when you realized that, what was the flood of emotion when you were expecting one reaction from the crowd, and then because it was this triumphant moment and all these people recognized what this moment was, what goes through your head when you hear that response, when you hear that electricity?
That moment, I have to say, it literally blew my mind. Like, it made me, I was in shock. Like, whoa. Like, I literally, honestly, if I go back and look at that booty shake, I probably did it kind of wrong. Because I was like, wait, what do I do again? Yeah. I was in such shock. I was surprised. But it's such an amazing feeling. And that's why, you know, when people talk rumbles about my retirement, like, oh, she's retiring or she's done. No, I have to go away and heal, but I'm never leaving the WWE. Not only this is my home, but that energy from the WWE Universe, who would ever want to leave that? There's a reason why Dwayne Johnson always comes back, and Stone Cold, and Shawn Michaels, and all of them, because it is such an addicting feeling of having these amazing fans from all over the world cheer you or boo you or just be connected to you in whatever you're doing in that ring. And so that's something that I love. And then when you get the noise that I got at SummerSlam, it's like, whoa, like I get chills thinking about it. It's just unreal. It's an unreal feeling.
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers throughout the years have sort of described it as like the world's most potent drug, is that energy that you feel when you walk into that room, which sort of answers my my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyways in case there's some more little nuances there that I want to tap into, and that is the heart of the driving force that does keep you going back, because when you think about all these things going, you got a niece coming, you're engaged now, you're going to start thinking about, at some point, you guys are going to think about your family, maybe however that you decide to go down that path, and how do you weigh all those things versus... Because the reality is you have this incredible job that is a dangerous job. Like, you're a professional. You know what you're doing. You've trained for this moment. But as you've experienced firsthand, things can happen. What kind of conversations do you have internally or externally about making those decisions and staying in there and going back to that ring?
You know, I think, like, for me, my passion is being a WWE superstar, is being a wrestler. And especially we're still in the middle of this women's revolution. And we're still... breaking barriers and proving to the world that we are just as good as the men. And so for me, it's like one reason why I just don't want to hang up the boots yet is I look at girls that are in our front row, and it's my Bella army. And for me, it's like I want to be in there because of girls like this. I want to inspire them and motivate them. I think as I get older, I've had role models growing up, and as I get older, I start to realize, like, I'm a role model. Yeah. And I love being a role model. I love being their superhero. So when Fearless Nikki isn't performing, who's their superhero? And it's girls like this that make me want to get back there, so they're superheroes back. And that's probably the hardest part for me when I'm not performing, is I feel like I let down my Bella Army. And my Bella Army means the world to me because I'm nothing without them. So when I go through my journey that you'll see on Total Divas over the next 6 weeks, and when I go through this new journey now, they are what motivate me. They inspire me. And, you know, they say I inspire them, and that's what I want to do, but they inspire me at the same time. And so that, to me, it's the most. It's my Bella Army that keeps me going because I want to be there for them. I want to be that role model. I feel like sometimes our world lacks female role models for our younger generation, and that's what I love about Total Divas, because it's not just Brie and I. We have this whole roster of amazing women, and that's why I love this women's revolution, is you finally get to see what the women can do, and that they are role models, and they're inspiring. It's not just the men, and I think there's men and little boys that are inspired by us too, and so they're the reasons why I come back, and that's why I'm grateful for Total Divas, but most importantly, I'm grateful for my health, and I hope that I can get extremely healthy so I get back and I can be these girls' superhero again.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
You are correct to applaud for that. It was a beautiful response, and obviously we're all pulling for you to heal up as well. And I think you touched on why Total Divas is such a success is because you do get to see these really strong women. You get to see these strong human beings who deal with all these different struggles beyond what we may have had an opportunity to see in the ring and on SmackDown and on Raw and stuff like that. And so you really get to see a human side and get to understand these characters and these people more. And I think that's why it's so great. And I think that's why we're all tuning in tonight at 9 to watch the episode on 8,
Yes.
I believe. So
better.
we're gonna head over to audience Q&A in a second. But I did earlier today reach out via Twitter, told some fans I couldn't be here if they wanted to ask some questions to hit us up. So we've got a couple. And so the first one is from Monica, but the actual Twitter handle is @NicolesBrianna.
Oh.
And says...
I know who you're talking about, by the way.
Says, do you know yet how long you'll be out of action?
Oh, I don't.
No.
So everyone knows exactly what I have. I have a slight herniation above where I had surgery. The great news is it's not herniated. So it being slight means, hey, you could rest and it could go away. So you can't ever put a time on that. It's not like a broken bone or even a sprain. You just don't know when it is. But I know I will be on my surgeon to get that next MRI as soon as I can to see when I can get back. And, it might be a while and it might not. So we will see.
Cool. Well, we'll be here when you're ready. That's
Well, thank you.
all right, so the next one, I thought I didn't want to take like a bunch of wedding ones, but I thought this was funny because of like the finality of it. You only get 4 options here. This is at CNation since 02, represent. Where?
Got that O2 in the house.
Yeah, you gotta get that 02 in there. Where do you want your wedding to take place? San Diego, Boston, Tampa, or Napa? That's it. It's gotta be one of those
that's it.
4.
I know, right? Napa. I mean, Napa seems like the most perfect place, right? I mean, it should be in a vineyard with a lot of wine.
Yeah, see, it makes sense.
I think it would be great. Hopefully, John and I would make it down the aisle. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
and those
Napa
2 people
Valley.
that clapped voted for Napa. So
Yeah, we think Napa's
that's
great.
3
We'll
for
see.
Napa.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Out of those 4 options, we'll go with Napa.
This last one I really love. It was really simple. This is from @Stacy_MW_WL. Bags or shoes? What do you prefer? Bags or shoes?
Bags or shoes?
Yeah, what do you prefer?
Goodness, gosh, that is tough. I'm gonna say bags.
Gonna go bags? Yeah.
Because, majority of the shots, like some people can't take a really good, like long shot, and you always get your bag in it, but not always your shoes. So,
and the shoes
Instagram's important, right?
Very much so.
So we're gonna stick with the bags.
We all know that.
Yes.
Well, thank you for indulging. Thank you to our Twitter followers and friends out there who sent those questions in. Let's go ahead and turn it over to the audience here. I believe we have some microphones. First one right in the
Oh,
front.
nice. Hi, cutie. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So I have 2 questions today. The first question is, how hard is it to film Total Bellas?
It can be tough because there are some days you just don't want cameras in your face, and you're like, okay, everyone leave, and they're like, no, we can't. Like, you signed up for this. So I'm like, yeah. So that can be the tough part. And then when you have to relive moments of like fighting with your brother or your sister, and then you have to watch it on TV, that's never fun. That's hard, yeah, that's hard.
My second question is, if you wasn't a wrestler, what would you be?
Oh, I love that question.
Ooh, well, now I can say wife, and no, I'm just kidding. I just want to say that. I want to say it like 1,000 times. What would I be? Goodness, that's a good question. I would actually say a real estate agent. I really started to get into real estate, and I got my license, and I have never used it. But I think I would do real estate. I love it. Or event planning. I love to plan parties, and I'm very good at it. Ask Brie. I had to plan her 2 baby showers. Jeez, that took up a lot of time, but they were amazing. So maybe event planning?
I think that's a great. Was real estate agent inspiring enough for you as an answer? Were you satisfied?
There's so many cool homes out there. Maybe I can make it on is it HGTV?
We would watch that show for sure.
Right? Like, so let me show you the shower. Right? Is that good? Something like that? Okay.
Very nice. Our next question comes from right here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Nikki?
Good. How are you?
Good. The last time you and your sister were here, I didn't bring my twin, but this time I brought him.
Oh, I was looking at you, and then I was looking at you, and you guys had such a cute laugh, and I'm like, Well, hi, twin.
Oh, that cute laugh.
How are you?
Familiar.
Okay, how you doing?
Good. Why aren't you guys wrestling? Take on the Usos.
We can.
Oh.
Ooh. No.
Aw, you guys have a style. That's awesome.
Thank you,
Well, it's
Nikki.
nice to meet you, twin.
Nice to see you again, and
Thank you.
nice to meet you, Nikki.
Aw, nice to meet you.
So the question is, what on earth was Bree and Brian's reaction to your wedding?
Oh, so it was so cute. Bree, what I love is right now we are filming Total Bella season 2. So they were just so excited to film John and I in a tag match, right? So they're filming Bree, my brother's wife Lauren, who you'll see a lot in Total Bella season 2, and my Nana, because we had to have family around her, because like our family, everyone's in the wrestling business, so we're all at WrestleMania. Poor Bree, we're like, what if she goes into labor? So we needed my Nana and my brother's wife to stick around. So they have the cameras rolling on them, and then John proposes, and they are freaking out. And then the best is my sister told me, and then the Total Bella producers told me, they have never seen anyone call 20 people within 10 minutes that fast before. My Nana literally speed dialed everyone, and my whole family knew before I even made it back. Like, they all knew. John and I had so many text messages, but they were so happy. And then there was a part of Brie like, I can't believe I'm not there. And I was really bummed, but we were FaceTiming each other as all my girlfriends were jumping on me, and I was like, Brie! And it was such a girl moment, like literally. So all my best friends were there because I wanted everyone to see me tag with John. And literally, John was just like, oh my goodness. They come from the suite, and we see each other, and all we do is we all look at each other and go, ah! There was nothing else said except screams and jumping up and down. And he's like, are they even talking? And we had like a good 5 minutes of just screaming and jumping up and down. And poor Bree's on FaceTime like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It was amazing. Amazing.
Awesome. I believe we have time for one more question, and it is right here.
Yes,
Hi.
hello, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. I was just curious how it is to have Daniel Bryan as a brother-in-law and a general manager.
I'm kind of disappointed that there wasn't a villain Nikki since August, because I think a villain Nikki Bella would have really used her brother-in-law in that way. I really wanted to use his power as a general manager, and I'm really bummed I didn't. Like, hey, title match now, and I win. Or just like putting all these like rules just to make sure that I win, and then I'd be untouchable. Like, oh, no title match ever. So great. But I have to say, not having Brie on the road, I was fortunate to have John, but it was like family time every Tuesday because Johnny, my stepdad, would be there, and then the love of my life, John, would be there, and then Brian. And sometimes John would have to like be in and out, and so Brian and I would like drive to the hotel or have dinner, and I got a lot of like special one-on-one time with Brian, which was really cool. I felt like us being on SmackDown helped our relationship grow, and as you all saw in Total Bella season 1, we kind of hit a rough patch. So I think we really needed this time, and it's really cute because we have become super, super close. And so I had so much fun doing like all those backstages with him, and I wish we could have did even more, but I will take it. But we had a lot of fun, a lot of fun. I learned a lot from Brian. He's very smart wrestling-wise.
For sure.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for your question. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. And everyone join me. Tonight, I'll tell you one more time, Total Divas, 9 p.m. on E. We all know it, but tell your friends. We're all going to watch it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Everybody join me in thanking the great Nikki Bella for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.